video I'm super excited for because I've been wanting to do it for a really long time. Like the title suggests, today we're talking about how to actually meditate. There are so many things out there that are like, just do it. You can do it. It takes practice. But today we're going to talk about the actionable steps you can do to meditate. We're going to talk about what meditation is, what the benefits are, and then I'm going to go ahead and tell you some of my tips to help you meditate and actually get into that groovy meditative state. Before we get started though, I do have a gift for you at the end, so make sure you're tuning into the entire thing so you can get access to my free gift. If this is your first time visiting my channel, thank you so much for visiting. Hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a video with me again. And if you've been here for a while, thank you again for stopping by. Your support does not go unnoticed. Okay. With all of that said, let's just get right into this video. So a lot of people ask me, what exactly is meditation? Basically, meditation is a practice where an individual uses a technique, such as mindfulness or focusing their mind on a particular object, thought, or activity to train attention and awareness, and ultimately achieve a mentally clear and emotionally calm and stable state. You guys have probably heard a lot of people talk about how great meditation is and how it's changed people's lives, but I want to be clear. Meditation has a lot of benefits, and a lot of them have been scientifically proven. For example, stress reduction and able to control your anxiety. In a research published in the American Journal of Psychiatry, 22 patients diagnosed with anxiety or panic disorder were submitted to 3 months of meditation and relaxation training. At the conclusion, for the 20 patients, the effects of panic and anxiety had reduced significantly, and the changes were maintained when they followed up. In another study, meditation was found to be as effective to treat anxiety and depression as antidepressant drug therapy. That's amazing. I know for me, I prefer more natural remedies instead of just popping pills, because that's just, I don't know, I just feel like kind of weird putting all that medication in my body. So if I know that something's gonna help me in the long run, and now where I don't have to take any medicine, your girl's here for it. But I want to keep talking about some benefits. It also promotes emotional health and also enhances your self-awareness. It's also said to help with decision making, and God knows I need that. It has been said to improve sleep, that I can vouch on. And last but not least, lengthens your attention span and can also decrease blood pressure. A study by the University of California suggests that during and after meditation, subjects were more skilled at keeping focus, especially on repetitive and boring tasks. Another study shows that after introducing meditation for 3 months, 2/3 of high blood pressure patients showed significant drops in blood pressure, which resulted in less need for medication. Again, just the fact that meditation can help us live a longer life is enough for me to meditate. I know from experience, it took me a long time to actually meditate, and I know that I'm not always perfect, meaning that I don't do it every single day as I would like, but I'm for sure trying. Like yoga, meditation is a practice, so the more you practice, the more natural it will become. Like anything, there are different types of meditation, and we can go on and on about this forever, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to talk about 4 specific ones. The first one we're going to talk about is concentration meditation. This is where you focus solely on one thing. Try focusing on one thing without letting it wander from one point to another. It does take a lot of practice, but studies show it brings amazing inner harmony and a new sense of calmness. An example of concentration meditation is lighting a candle and just staring at the flame. Now, with this, you want to have the candle high enough or far away enough that you're not breaking the neck. You want to maintain a neutral spine. It's said that if you focus on the flame, you're kind of not paying attention to anything around you, and you're kind of just seeing how that flame moves side to side, ultimately resulting in a calmness inside of you. That's not my favorite way to meditate because I kind of get cross-eyed, but I wanted to share with you just in case you might enjoy that one. The second meditation is mindfulness meditation. And this is pretty much where you are encouraged to observe your own thoughts, but not judge them. So it will be in a quiet environment with your eyes closed, and you're kind of just assessing what's in your head and not putting any judgment on it. I know it seems very, very hard, but again, the more you practice, the easier it will be. Now, if that's difficult for you, you can try a visualization meditation. And that is when you are either sitting or laying down, we'll get to that in a second, but you're actually envisioning yourself in what's called a safe place. Visualization is where you create a peaceful place in your mind where you'll explore until you become calm. I know it's kind of weird. Hear me out. This can be literally anything. It could be a sandy, warm beach. It could be you in your backyard in a hammock. It could be you in your apartment. It could be you anywhere. Something that's going to make you feel peaceful and calm. And what you want to do is act like you're there. What do you see when you're in this space? It's not you putting things in, but it's kind of what you see and what you visualize, what comes up for you. Again, you don't want to work to create the space, you just want to observe the space. So what do you see? What do you hear? Who's with you? Are you by yourself? Is there a mirror? Are you in a dark space? Are you in a light space? And ultimately, you're just going to uncover things that make you feel at peace, and that's when you enter the meditative state. Our third meditation that we're going to speak about is a mantra meditation. And this one is probably one of the ones that you are aware of, is when you recite a specific sound, word, or phrase and repeat it over and over until you reach that meditative state. You can say anything from what the Buddhists use, which is said to be the first sound in all of the world, or you can use a mantra that you like. So maybe I am enough, or I am loved, or faith over fear, or I live in faith, things of that nature. And what you'll do is you'll just repeat it until you can silence your mind and enter a deeper meditative state. Now, something else that you can add to a mantra meditation is the use of mala beads. Now, there are so many different examples of mala beads. For example, I made a bracelet that I kind of consider my mala, and I also have an actual mala necklace. Now, what you do with the mala is holding your mala in your right hand, you start at the guru bead, which is the biggest bead, and you use your thumb to count each bead, pulling it towards you as you recite your mantra, whether that be I am enough, I am blessed, etc. You'll do this 108 times or until you reach the end of your mala bead. If you want to continue, just simply reverse the direction. Now, with the mala beads, it's said to, if you're doing something, it kind of helps you focus. It's kind of the same thing as like a fidget spinner. You know how people with anxiety were using fidget spinners, and it was said to help them because they were paying attention to something else. It's kind of the same thing with the mala beads or a bracelet. Again, it didn't have to be a mala necklace, but I just wanted to use the bracelet example and the mala bead necklace example so you guys can get a feel of what I'm talking about. And last, but certainly not least, the last meditation we're going to talk about might be my favorite, and that's Yoga Nidra. Yoga means to yoke, combined, and then Nidra means to sleep. So it's also known as yogic sleep. I tried to find the definitive definition, trying to make it in layman's terms online, but pretty much what I found is that Yoga Nidra is a paradoxical state of being between sleep and consciousness that's conducive to deep emotional and physical healing, rewiring your brain, and self-exploration. It has been said that there's no separation between your dream state and reality because they inform each other, and Yoga Nidra is a practice that helps bring you into alignment with your truth. I know that might sound like really crunchy to some people, but I learned about Yoga Nidra when I was doing my yoga teacher training a couple years ago, and honestly, it changed my life. During this time, I was having a lot of trouble sleeping. I usually think a lot at night, and I can't shut off my brain. So when I found Yoga Nidra, I started doing it, and I haven't stopped. A lot of the Yoga Nidras that I do is pretty much like a body scan, and it just helps you fall asleep. There are some Yoga Nidra meditations that waken you up after, but I prefer to do mine right before bed so that I go to sleep rested and wake up more rested than I usually would. So for example, what they do in these meditations is take you through a body scan. So it'll be like your right finger, your right pointer, your right middle finger, all the way through your entire body, because you're so focused on what the meditation is saying that you're not thinking about your thoughts and what's keeping you up at night. So that's why I love it so much. So now that you know what meditations we're talking about, how do you meditate? Here are some tips to help you meditate a little bit easier. So a lot of people think that you can only meditate if you're sitting upright with nothing helping you, no wall, no cushion, no nothing. And then some people just get really discouraged by that because they don't feel like they can. And so what I'm here to tell you is that that's not the case. Now, what you want to avoid is falling asleep when you meditate, unless you're doing the last meditation we talked about, Yoga Nidra. It's very difficult to sit in the middle of a room with no cushion, no wall, and just sit there. It takes a lot of core. I remember the first time I fell into meditation, I started sitting upright, and then at the end I found myself like this because my core is not strong enough to hold myself without a wall or without a cushion. Now, before we get ahead of ourselves with our form, let's talk about a few things you need before you figure out the form. First and foremost, you want to find a place that's quiet and you're going to be free of distractions. The last thing you want is get into a meditative state and then have your phone ringing. Make sure to put your phone on do not disturb, unless of course you're using an app to meditate. The second thing you'll want to do is you want to wear comfortable clothes. You don't want anything tight, anything that's going to be pulling you, anything that's going to be bringing you forward. You want to have loose, comfortable clothing. Maybe something warm, because once you get your body into that meditative state, you might get a little bit chilly. Number 3, and this is preference, obviously. If you feel like you're gonna be meditating for a long time, maybe get some movement in before. Nothing crazy, but maybe a couple cat-cows, some downward dogs, walk the dog, just so that you prevent that stiffness from happening when you're meditating. And last but not least, you'll wanna sit on something comfortable. Now, I, right off the bat, tried to meditate how I've been saying, kind of just sitting in the middle of the room with no cushion, no wall, and I just couldn't do it. I kind of gave up. And then I was like, well, what if I just make myself comfortable? And that changed the game. If you guys have followed me on Instagram, you'll know that I was using like an outdoor cushion because I didn't have a yoga cushion at the time, and I really wanted to start meditating, and that helped a ton. So pretty much the point here is just do whatever is comfortable for you and your body. That could be a yoga cushion, which is what I'm sitting on right now. That's pretty much gonna shift your hips forward so that your body is in a position that you can stay in for a pretty long time. You could even try meditating against the wall with your legs out or in Indian style cross-legged. You can even do it laying down on your yoga mat. Again, the only thing is we don't want you falling asleep. So if you think that you're gonna fall asleep, maybe that's not your way. Also, if you have problems with your lower back, just put a cushion under your knees to kind of soften that lower back area and you get more comfortable. And lastly, you can always use a couch. The only thing I'll say about the couch, similarly to laying down, is we don't want you falling asleep. So one thing you can do is lay down and have your head off of the couch so that you are still kind of awake and still holding your body up some way. For me, that's a little bit uncomfortable just because I deal with neck issues and that's just annoying and it'll just won't let me get into meditative state. So for me personally, I like to sit on the yoga cushions because like I mentioned, it does force my hips to sit in a nice comfortable position. I know you guys are probably thinking, well, that's great, Yami. I know what meditation is, the benefits and how I can do it, but how do I actually do it? Haha, here we go. Here are some things that you guys can do to just start meditating. And one thing I do want to say is give yourself some grace because like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, meditation is also a practice. You don't become a yogi or a super meditator in one day. It is an uncomfortable thing, but the more you do it, the more you get comfortable. So aim to start maybe 5 minutes a day. Or if that's too much, even 1 minute, 3 minutes, whatever you can commit to, and do that to start. You'll notice that the more you do it, the more you'll just keep meditating without even you trying. I remember I was doing 5-minute meditations every morning, and then one day I was literally at 16 minutes and I was like, I did that. So don't be hard on yourself. Just start off with 5 minutes a day and you'll see that the more you practice, the easier it will be to stay in that meditative state. If possible, try to meditate at the same time every day so that it kind of becomes a habit. I try to meditate in the morning and then always at night before bed. And then I think what my biggest tip here is use an app. I personally love the Insight timer. I found out about this timer through my yoga teacher training teacher 2 years ago, and this app is great because you can get so many features of it free, but there's also a subscription feature that takes you through courses. So I'll put the link in the description box below, and no, this is not sponsored. I literally just love this app so much that I wanted to share it with you guys. I share it with my clients all the time because it's just so great. It has guided meditations. It has a timer that you can kind of set up for yourself. You can also choose what bells will go off when you use the timer. And also, obviously, you guys know that I love my yoga Nidra. They actually just added a sleep feature specifically for sleep because they know that a lot of us have trouble sleeping. So you can just click the link down below to kind of play with it. And if you want to download it, go ahead. Again, there's a lot that you can get for free, so I recommend you downloading it. Now, getting to the biggest tip that I wanted to share is using that app as a starter. So what I used to do when I first started meditating is I would pick a meditation that was like 5 to 6 minutes long and I would just let it play. So that meditation ultimately is just gonna get me in that meditative state. And once it ends, it's just gonna keep on going. It's not gonna say, ding, 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 we're done, go about your day. It's literally gonna stay quiet. So if you're already in that meditative state, you wanna stay there and kind of meditate on your own. You'll be very surprised to see how long you can stay there with that guided meditation. They do have longer meditations if you wish, but if you want to get to a point that you're meditating with nothing, my best advice would be to use a meditation that's 5 to 7 minutes long, maybe even 10, and then once that's done, stay in that meditative state until your eyes just open. Believe me, I promise you that you'll feel so good. And that's it, guys. There's so much more I can say about meditation and how to do it, but I wanted to keep this video relatively short. If you have any other questions on meditation, or if you want me to dive into this subject deeper, please let me know below. I would love to help you guys out in your meditation practice. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I did have a gift for you. I want to do a meditation challenge with you guys. And it's not a challenge per se, but it's just something to do together to hold ourselves accountable. So for the entire month of May, I'm committing myself to meditating every single day. And I want to invite you to join me. If you click on the link below, you can download a worksheet that you can put on your iPhone and share on your stories. And every single day, we can knock off a day that we've meditated. So if you want to do this meditation challenge with me for the month of May, make sure to download the worksheet, upload it to Instagram stories, and tag me, Yami Mufti, so I can see and share it on my stories as well. Again, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave them down below. I'd love to help you guys in any way I can. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure to share this video with someone you think might find it helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I love you guys. Mwah!